probability. Also, a step further of that, which is known as past data. How much is your probability distribution understood? It all depends on that. But we are not going into mathematics. We are going into a straight application just to see how these particular things work out. So let me put it over here, a small application. Let me put it over here, a small situation. And I'm sure let me take this particular small example of the decision trees and let me see how these particular things can be worked out. Imagine you have got a risk management, simple problem, and that particular problem over here is, let's put this problem first. Let's say a friend of mine called as Professor Govindraj proposes me a game. Okay, imagine a small project. Look at this particular small project. I will pay 9 rupees to Mr. Govindraj to play this game. So he is a casino owner. I am a player. I am a gambler. I have to pay him 9 rupees to play this particular game. If the die which is thrown comes out as 3 fees, okay? If the die comes out as 1 or 2, I lose my 9 rupees. I get paid nothing. Now, should I play this game or should I not play this game? Knowing that die is going to be a perfect, logic tells me there are 4 numbers. If 4 numbers are coming, 4 different numbers are coming, probability is always higher. But that's a qualitative understanding. I want to get this particular understanding using a tool. And look at this particular tool now. And the moment you have this particular tool, you will notice a lot of problems of probability get sorted out in a much easier way. First of all, how is this particular tool going to be built? How is this particular method is going to be built? The method is going to be built by 3 symbols. Symbol number 1 is going to be called as a decision node, a decision that you have to take. And you do not know the outcome of that particular decision. By the way, let me take a business situation over here. To start a plant or not to start a plant is a decision that I have to take now. Maybe risk over here is this: government may put a ban on such manufacturing in future. There is a chance that government may ban it, political chance, government may ban it. But when do I know government bans it or not? It may in future ban. I do not know whether they will or they will not. I can just speculate in terms of uncertainty, they may. Now that possibility is called as a chance node. And chance node has got a variety of possibilities. There is a 50% chance it may happen. There is a 30% chance it may happen. There is a 10% chance it may happen. Where are these particular 50, 30, 20 are coming from? They are coming from your Delphi technique. Qualitatively, what is your understanding of it happening? By the way, what is the chance that lockdown will be again extended? Now we know the chance quite well. There is all the chance in the world that lockdown may be extended in future, or lockdown may be extended as such. There is a pretty good chance. But if I had asked this particular question, what is the chance of a lockdown in the April of 2019? Probably you would have looked at me and said that lockdown, what the hell is that? So if you look at it, experience tells us what is the possibility of this particular thing working out. So that's called as a chance node. And the terminal node is stop. The game is over. Now, when you convert a business risk, with the decision trees, you are able to actually put down the risk in an extremely succinct manner. You know what is going to work out, what is not going to work out, with a concept called as expected monetary value. And we are going to do that together. So let's do this particular one. Let me explain it to you how it is done. 1 minute, I will explain it to you. And the next minute, we are going to try it out ourselves. I hope you have got your laptop with you naturally, because you are looking, or you are interacting right now on the basis, of course, of the basis of the laptop, which you won't be able to see the zoom as well. So therefore, what we are going to be doing, I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how this is built, and let's build it together. And after that, I'm sure you can actually convert any risk situation into a decision tree for taking decisions or to taking mitigation as well. See, let's see how. So what I'm going to do over here is I am going to do a freeware. So there is a freeware which is, I'm sure we are going to try it out. There is a freeware over here which is called as silver decisions. We are coming to that. I am going to run that particular silver decisions, but meanwhile, let me just, okay. So let me run this particular silver. Let me run this particular one. Let's build this particular one ourselves. Remember, I pay Professor Govindaraj 9 rupees to play the game. If yes, I win 3, 4, 5, 6, if I get 15 rupees. If I get 1 or 2, I lose. Should I play the game or not? I want to have an oracle. I want to have magic wand. Give me the decision saying that do this. Because if I do that in a scientific manner, I know how to go ahead with. So I'm going to play this particular game. I'm going to build this particular decision tree now. So let's build it. Okay. So the first thing is I am going to run this particular small tool free of charge. I'm sure you are going to come to that as well. But right now, just have a look at it. 1 minute, and then we are going to start with that. So let's start in English. We come in over here to what is called as a canvas. You will come to that, but don't do it right now. Just have a look at it. I will start my decision node. Should I play? Should I not play? A decision node is always shown by rectangle. So what's my decision? To play or not to play? I want my decision tree to answer me to play or not to play. After I play, what is the chance? I may get 3, 4, 5, 6, or I may get 1 or 2. So there are two possibilities. Possibility number 1, I will stop the game. Number 2, I play the game and I play the game, I made a mistake, so I will remove that particular mistake. I play the game and there are two possibilities. Either I win the game or I lose the game. Two possibilities, win the game or lose the game. Now let's fill the values in over there. So let's choose our decision node and I ask the question, to play or not to play. So this is the answer I want to have from my decision tree. Label number 1, play. If I play, how much do I pay? I pay 9 rupees. Since I pay 9 rupees, I will show -9. Yeah. Label 2, don't play. If I don't play, what do I lose? Nothing. So that's the end of it. So I have taken care of my data of the first type. Good. Then there is a chance that I may win, I may lose. So I say this is a throwing of a die. Actually, dice is a plural, but die. Throwing of a die. First, I may get 3, 4, 5, 6. I win by getting 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if I win, what do I get? I get 15 rupees. And what's the chance of winning? 4 by 6. 4 by 6 converted to decimal, 6666. What's the H2? Second H. I may lose. There is a chance of losing, there is a chance of winning. What's the payoff? If I lose, I don't have to pay anything. What's the chance? What's the probability? 0.3333 or 3334, just to make it round figure. Wow, our game is ready. And by the way, I will stop this particular one because the game has worked out over here. The game has, let's go one step further and stop. Okay, the game tells me, play this game. Why? Let me now use my pen over here. It says, play this particular game because your EMV, expected monetary value, is $1, 1 rupee in our case. It says, thick line over here says play. Now what is this particular $1? This particular $1 is expected monetary value. In other words, it means per game I play, per game I pay, I will get $1 if I play this game sufficiently long enough. In other words, I'm sure you are aware of a person. Just let me if you don't like this person, I'm so sorry, but that person has made our life much easier. But person was, maybe it's a historic person, a person by the name of Bayes, Bayes. His full name is Father Thomas Bayes. Father Thomas Bayes was a person who actually brought in the theorem or the theory which is known as Bayes theorem. What we are using over here is a Bayes theorem. $6 is a chance of winning $6, and the probability of that is over here. So I work out backwards, but I will not go into the Bayes theorem right now. I am just getting over here $1, but how did this particular $1 come? Let me work out a small mathematics for you. Imagine I play this particular game 1,500 times. By the way, just 2 minutes and we are going to build it ourselves as well, and let's have a fun. And I will give you other 10 situations. You can build it and you will know how the risk management in the company today takes advantage of this particular one. Imagine I play this particular game 1,500 times. Since the die is a perfect die, it will 1,000 times I will win. 500 times I will lose. Every time I win, how much do I win? Each game I get 6 rupees. So every time I play this particular game and I win this particular game, I get 6,000 rupees plus. How come 6,000 rupees? Per game I pay 9 rupees. Per game I get 15 rupees which I won. So my net income is 6 rupees. Correct? I have got 6,000 rupees winning. Every time I have lost, 500 times I'm going to lose anyway. Die ultimately, it's a die, perfect die. 500 times I'm going to lose. Every time I lose 9 rupees. 9 rupees into 500 times is minus 4,500. After having played this game for 1,500 times, how much have I earned? 6,000, winning 4,500 minus losing, I have earned 1,500 rupees. In how many games did I earn 1,500 rupees? In 1,500 games. Per game, how much did I earn? 1. And that is what our EMV is. Simple application of Bayes theorem. By the way, let's put this particular now in risk situation. Let's build it. But before we build, let's put this particular one in the risk situation. So let me take it up. Okay, look at it this way. You are making a decision, a risk manager, you are making a decision whether to test or not, whether you want to do the full testing or whether you do limited testing. If you do full testing, you will spend 10,000 rupees. If you do limited testing, you will spend 8,000 rupees. So definitely at this point of time, limited testing is better because I save 2,000 rupees, but there is a chance. There is a chance of failure and winning. So I have got this particular tree built over here, and I'm sure the trees of this particular sort are very handy, but at this moment, let's build a tree. So I will come out of this. So let's say keep, I will come out of this. Please open your browser. Please open your browser. Let's go to Silver Decisions. Let's go to silverdecisions.pl. Have you gone? Just go to the silverdecisions.pl. If you have gone, you know, there, say run. You will get this window. I will wait for you for 2 minutes, but I am like that old man from Sindbad's story. I am going to sit on your shoulder till you do this. I am not going to leave you. So please do it. Okay. Have you got this particular blank screen? Fine. If you have a blank screen, you are going to have, remember, there are only 3 things in decision tree: decision node, chance node, and terminal. Correct? 3 things. Entire logic And you will notice I have got several examples for you to play around with. Entire logic is built with 3 nodes. That's it. So build our first node over here by right clicking. If your mouse is normally left click mouse, in that case, right click the mouse. You will get an option which says that add a decision node. Decision node is the first. I have to take a decision. So add a decision node. A decision node will come over there. A decision node has come over there. Good. Now, what do I do next? Bring to the decision node and again right click. We know decision is the first, winning or losing is the next step. So we will therefore add a chance node. Winning or losing is the next one. But by the way, decision could be this: play or don't play. So therefore, if it is not playing, let's add a terminal node. So come to the mouse over here, come to that particular decision node over here, right click and add a terminal node. What is the meaning of this, business meaning of this, managerial meaning of this? That you have to take a decision to play or not to play. If it is not to play, end of the story, end of the things, you have decided not to play, forget it. If you play, there is a chance. So therefore there is a chance node. By the way, what's the chance? You may win, you may lose. After winning or losing, game stops. And therefore we will add, come to this particular yellow node over here. Let's add a terminal node here. And let's add a second terminal node here. That means the game ends here anyway. Okay. Basic infrastructure of the decision tree is done. By the way, one of the examples which I have worked out is a massive project in South Africa, a project which is called as Nelson Mandela Bridge in Johannesburg. And you have got the entire risk statement of the risk workshop. And on the basis of that, a decision tree has been worked out. So whenever you get time, please have a look at it. Similarly, if you are having Panama, or you don't have it, but I will share with you, if there is a document called as Panama Canal Expansion Project Risk Assessment, you will notice that entire 14 risks that they have actually come out with. Every risk was analyzed by 2 methods, decision tree and Monte Carlo. Second part is of course Monte Carlo. The trees give you quite a good idea about what's going to happen, and you can even do the sensitivity analysis. What's the sensitivity analysis? By having the die soldered on one side, if I'm getting more probability of getting 3, 4, 5, 6, my decision tree can show me that, which is called as sensitivity analysis. But I'm sure there are a number of things that can be done. As of now, let's populate our data. Select your decision node. If you're selected, write a label which says that play or not. Write a label called as play or not. Give the first age on the top, play. And if you play, you have to pay 15 rupees. You have to pay 15 rupees. So give minus 15. Why minus? Anything that goes out of your pocket is minus. Anything that comes to your pocket, oh sorry, not minus 15, I'm sorry, minus 9. Minus 9. So anything that goes out of your pocket is minus. Anything that comes in your pocket is plus. Good. We have populated 1. What is the age number 2? Age number 2 says don't play. And since we don't play, Professor Govindaraj may shout at me, but he cannot do anything. He cannot take money from my pocket. Since he cannot take money from my pocket, it's 0. Yeah, Govind, you said something?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay. Now, if you have done this particular one, that's great. If you have done this particular one, that's great. For this, we don't have to program anything. Now use this particular yellow chance node. Chance node. What is the label number 1 of the chance node? Label number 1 is you win. And when do you win? when you get 3, 4, 5 or 6. And what's the probability of getting 3, 4, 5, 6? We don't require a soothsayer for that. We don't require a mathematician for that. We know it is 4 by 6, 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 is, let's put it over here as 0.6666. And payoff is 15 rupees. Label, I'm sorry, it's a label. Label is win. This is throw of a dice here. This is throw. This is win. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 15 rupees is going to be plus. Probability of that happening is 0.6666. That's age 1. Age 2 is you lose. How much you lose? When do you lose? When you get 1 or 2. And the payoff in the case of loss is nothing. You already have paid to Professor Govindraj in advance. 0.333, let's say 4. The moment you fill this data, you will notice that the line on the top of play over here has come thick. Expected monetary value of this branch is $1. Expected monetary value of this branch is $0. And wherever the EMV is high, the decision is always to go ahead on that particular branch. This is alphabet of a decision tree. I'm sure you can have extremely complex decision tree, and some of these particular simple but yet little more elaborative trees I would like to share with you about this as well. The question is, I'm sure very soon after you finish your MBA and etc., you will be joining the companies. Question is, do the companies use these tools? Answer is, oh, they don't only use it, they vouch by it. But companies will not use the freewares, the ones that we are using. Why we are using freeware? Of course, we don't have to buy professional software, but if you are into a professional risk assessment, there is a phenomenal tool. Let me use my, there is, I would suggest you, my suggestion, and you can take it up or you can decide whether to take it up. A guaranteed way of getting into the company, into the project management, is to have a mastery over one tool which is known as Palisade. So I'll write it over here. A tool by the name of Palisade, a commercial tool. You don't get it, of course, free of charge. It's an extremely expensive tool, but you get Palisade for 15 days and you get a phenomenal literature with risk assessments of infinite number of case studies from industry. Some of them have been contributed by me as well, so you'll notice my name over there. So when you see that name, you can say I know him, kind of a thing. But these are the cases which are extremely powerful. You get 15 days time window because you won't be able to buy this anyway. Even companies like L&T have got only 20 licenses. Only 20 people in L&T use it. But I can put it this way, and I am not exaggerating. Knowing risk management is at 2 levels. Level 1 over here, I will put it over here as a technical level. And level 2 is known as strategic level. The strategic level of risk management comes, believe me, comes only and only with experience. It doesn't come by studying books. It comes only with experience and your focus. By the way, why did I bring this? Why did I bring these particular things in over here? Because if I look at your questions are really good, but most of your questions are very abstract. What are the top risks in the companies? No, no, no. That question is actually speaking, unless you are in that particular industry for a long period of time, you just don't know what's happening, and therefore strategic level is not what is going to get you the jobs. Technical level, how you actually do the jugglery of numbers is a sure shot way of getting it. And I will make a statement and I will stand by that statement, and that statement is, if you just tell some of the project management companies that your people have been trained or aware of Palisade, I am sure there will be the top project management companies in the country and abroad looking out for the people, because there are not many people in the industry. Those who way to have a knowledge of Palisade, you must have been playing around with these particular things much better. Play around with these particular things first. Try out n number of situations over here. Then go to Palisade, download it, work it out, work on that. Get the tutorials, ensure that you are expert in that. And once you are an expert, I tell you, you have got a virtual passport to be in the field of project management, particularly risk management, because these are the tools which are going to be extremely powerful. By the way, not the part of our discussion, but it's prima vera. But anyway, let's keep that particular thing separate. Let's talk about that in a different manner. So I hope you have done this particular one. There are at least 5 examples I will share with you in my PowerPoint presentation itself, all solved, all available on Silver, or all available in Palisade as well. But right now, we have to ensure that before we are thrown out by Zoom, let's make sure that we also understand what is called as Monte Carlo simulation. Now, to understand Monte Carlo simulation, I am going to follow a different method. We are going to build it, and I'm going to share that particular thing with you as well. Let me do over here one thing. I will come to that particular. Okay. So you're going to give me 1 minute for that. So this is the risk DRDO. Okay, let me play a game with you. Okay, let me play a game with you, and let's use Monte Carlo for that particular game. Okay, fine. I'm sure because of the lockdown, I'm sure you must be playing this particular game quite often. Are you seeing that going? Are you seeing the screen?
Yes, sir.
Are you seeing the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. Now, you have got over here what is called as a game of snakes and ladder. I'm sure you have played this, but just imagine the situation. Fun. Okay, let's understand by a fun way. Suppose if you are a project manager and your project is to play this particular game, and you have to commit. How many moves are you going to take to finish this game? If you have to commit, and imagine stakes are very high. If you take more number of moves than what you committed, let's say your life depends on that. If you take less number of moves, perfectly all right. How many moves are you going to suggest? Is it not a risk number one? Suppose if I say I will finish this game in 20 moves, and if I take more than 20 moves, I am in trouble. There is a risk. I may or may not finish in 20 moves. But how do I know I will finish in 20 moves? I do not know. And uncertainty of the highest order is over here. Uncertainties of this sort are handled by Monte Carlo simulation. So let's have a look at it. Second sheet of this is my model. I will tell you how the model was built, but forget writing the model, because looking at the model important, we want to see the results of the model. So what I'm going to do here is I have a mathematical model. I will share with you the details. In fact, I will share with you the whole worksheet along with some other worksheets as well. Professor, right? I have this particular and do is to simulate this game played okay. And I say that 1,000 times play this game. I am telling Excel 1,000 times play this game. By the way, when you get this particular sheet from me, play this game 10,000 times. If you have got time, play this game 1 lakh times. What will happen? The game will be played, actual game will be played 1,000 times, and the data will be collected and shown to me in a statistical format. So let's play this particular game. So I say simulate. Now look, system is playing this game internally. It has 355 now. I can see that particular number going up. Once it is done 1,000 times playing, it will show me the data, and we will interpret that particular data. Go on this side, at least one game. I think I will have to remove at least one game. To minimum was 8, maximum was 120. We will have this particular graph in a. We'll have this particular data in a graphical format. So we'll take the cumulative plot. I will make a chart of this, and this is going to tell me now how much risk appetite I have got. What's the risk appetite? Suppose, for example, my boss says, give me the answer which is with 95% confidence. In other words, tell me the least number of moves with 95% confidence. So I say this is 0.8, this is 0.9, this is 0.95. So I come over here and I'm sure it's 9.7. I come back over here, it's 9.6. This is 9.645. This 9.5. I think let me close it over here. Okay. I say this at this particular point in time. So I say 74 moves. If you allow me to, 95% chance I will finish the project. In % of the times I will finish the project well within that. Now, if you notice what has happened now, in just 5 minutes time, the entire situation got changed. Before minutes, I have no idea. Now I know if I say 74 moves, there is a 5% chance that I will finish the game in 75 or 72, whatever that particular number was. On the contrary, now let's look at our 83% or 82.6% is the risk that I am taking in over here. Now I decide to accept it, or I may decide to avoid it. The client and tell that, okay, no, if you want to have 95%, actually can give me a pretty good identification of what is the chance that the things are happening in the quantitative space of the project management. Well, when I came in over here, and when I thought maybe a week back, I spoke to Professor Govindaraj and had an idea saying that, well, we are sitting at home, why not have something of this sort worked out for the students so we can have some fun together as well. So I have taken this particular example. I'm sure these 2 hours are not the only ones that are going to make you expert in this particular field. Incidentally, Palisade also does Monte Carlo simulation. So the decision tree, neural network, Monte Carlo simulation, risk assessment for the project schedule, all these things are coming under the suite of products called as Palisade. And the moment you get that particular one, I'm sure you can explore it in a variety of different ways as well. Meanwhile, I will take the examples of this particular questions, and maybe I would like to take these particular questions up, at least some of them. Let me try to answer these particular questions. Rohan says, how effective are the current risk response plans and actions? Actually, the question is not valid. Whose risk response plan we are talking about? If the company, if you're talking about is a BGR, BG Raghupati in Delhi, their risk responses were so horribly bad for the projects of NTPC that they have gone into trouble. So current risk response plans are not the Sheila Lake in black and white. They are of a company, and it depends upon the professional way of developing the risk response plans. And for the companies of the sorts of L&T or Adani, they are pretty good. GMR, pretty good. Reliance, not so good. Reliance has had a massive setback because of their risk response plan not being there. So the question is not universal, question is specific, and therefore my answer in that case is specific as well. Jaya says, what are the mistakes that a project manager makes while analyzing the risk? The major mistake is they do not have the past experience covered in toto. So there are always black spots, generally in the field of risk management known as blind spots. So the blind spots are the ones, don't let a single stone left unturned. Every single possibility is to be evaluated in terms of its probability and the impact. More and more you do that, better and better it is. Still, there are issues. Still, there are problems come up, but foolproof plan does not exist. But near to foolproof plan is always possible. And therefore,